We're going to try and create another 2D drawing so that we can gain some knowledge and transition to 3D drawings or 3D modeling. So by now we know how to do lines, rectangular shapes, squares, just by doing a polyline. But I don't think we've reviewed arcs or how to do objects with multiple objects combined. So we're gonna go ahead and do this drawing, and you already know how to set up the annotations, you already know how to set up your units. So let's go ahead and do this very quickly so we can learn some concepts to move to 3D modeling in AutoCAD. So let's do new, default, and let's go ahead and do what's loading up my drawing. Let's do type units. We're gonna do meters. Okay, this is an example in meters. If you notice here, I have set up the different layers, which we already know how to do that. So I have a layer for dimensions, for doors, for stairs, for walls, for windows. This one I don't need, so I could delete it. So let's go ahead and do the same thing in our new drawing. So we already set up units, and let's go ahead and set up layers. So by default we have layer 0. So we're gonna create another one that is gonna be walls, and that is gonna have color gray. Let's do another one that is doors. That is going to be color orange. Another one that is called windows. And you can be as specific as you want. You can do another one that is frames, etc. So windows, I'm going to have windows and frames. Let's say I do another one that is stairs. And this one is going to be red. Okay, and the color is whatever you choose. Okay, so by now we have different layers and we can work on them. Okay, so I'm going to choose wall to start with. So I'm going to do a line, a set of lines, and they're going to start at 0 and 0. And if you notice, if I place my ortho, I'm going to type 8 meters and then do 20 meters. Okay, so look at this. The line, if you want to change the line thickness, you simply go to layers, property layers. Everything's going to be here. In fact, you should keep, if you have 2 monitors, keep this window in your second monitor. Okay, and then change the thickness to something else that you want. So let's say this one, for instance. Okay, and if you notice, it did not change because by default I have something called line width display off. So if you go to command, you type LW display, it's saying your line display is off, which that is an inconvenient. So write down on, and then you change the thickness. And how do you know if that is changing the thickness of the whole layer? If you want to change the thickness of the whole of the objects in the whole layer, you go to property and as you can see, it's changing the thickness. Okay, so let's keep something more realistic. So let's go to property layers. Let's do, I think that was okay, and 0.3 millimeters thick. And this scale is 1:1, so there's going to be printed 0.3 millimeters on your paper. Alright, so let's continue with line. And let's do 5 here. And let's do 10, and let's do 12, and let's do 5. Okay, so since we're designing, at this point I'm not following the units over here anymore. It will be too cumbersome to go back and forth and see what units I have. But at this point, if we want to go ahead and close this, we can do something interesting, which is I already have set up. So if you go to your snaps and you type on endpoint, we don't need viewpoint, we don't need center, we don't need geometric center, we need node intersection. Okay, so if you place your cursor on this point and you type and you place on extension, then you can click here and click there. You notice how we did that, right? So let's do it again. So let's go ahead and do a line, and we said it was 5, and I think it was 10. I think this was 8, or let's say 10, and this was 8 or 12. I forget now. No, it was not 12. It was, let's say 8. So right click, input line. Remember, when you have a square, it's because this is the endpoint, and you want to have it at the endpoint. If you don't have it at the endpoint, then this is not going to be the right dimension. And to have it at the endpoint, you simply type endpoint or click endpoint. So if you notice this little upside down triangle means it's on the line, but this square means that it's on at the endpoint. So let's type 8. Okay, so what I want to do is close my design. So place your cursor at this end and click here, and then go up and click there. I click enter. Okay, so we have this, and now we're going to do the thickness of the wall. Okay, so for that we're going to use a very useful command, which is offset, and we're going to say 0.5 meters. Enter. So select object. This one is going to be, we're going to go inside, left click, this one inside, left click to accept, select, inside, left click. All this is left click. So click, inside, click, click, inside, click, click, inside, click, click, inside, click, click, inside, click. Okay, so an interesting thing, we know how to do trims, but we don't know how to do this part. And we can do an extension line, connect them, but there's a simpler way of doing this. Do right click enter and type Fillet. So Fillet in this part here, I'm going to select this line and this line. Repeat. And we're going to do this line and this line. Enter. Okay, so now we have the walls set up. Let's say we want to do some divisions, and it should be simple enough. So depending on the dimensions that you want, because right here you can be designing your house or a house for a family member. It's pretty much the same case as an architect would do. We're gonna do 5 meters, enter, and we're gonna do 5 meters, enter, and let's do here another one. 5 meters, enter. Okay, so now we can do trimming because we want to have a door here and a door here, a door here, and we want windows. So let's do trim, and we're going to select this line and that line. Right click, enter, trim, trim. Right click, enter. Same thing here. This line, right click, enter. So repeat trim, select this line, right click, left click, enter. So I'm going to do it again. Right click to trim, or you type trim. With your left click, select the line and select the other line and right click, enter. With your left click, select this and this, right click, enter. Okay, let's keep doing that. So right click, repeat, left click, select, right click, enter, left click. But we didn't say we wanted to do this part. So escape to close out and repeat. We want to use this line and this line. Right click, enter, left click, and right click, enter. Let's still do this one right here. So we're gonna select this one with the left click, select this one with the left click, right click to accept, and you can always follow the commands here. And left click, right click, enter. Let's do this one more time. Left click to, if it's too many clicking, then let's do trim, enter, select object, left click, enter. Select this one, left click, enter. But if you notice, with your right click, you can do enter when you're in the middle of a function. Alright, so that's that. Okay. Alright, we need to do a few more. I'm going to do it very fast so we can move to the next set of concepts. That one. That one. This one. This one and this one, enter, this one, enter, this one and this one, enter, this one, enter, okay, this one, and this one, enter, alright, we got it. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is create some spacing here for doors. And for doing that, first of all, we need to give thickness to this wall. So offset 0.25, enter. Let's go towards the inside, and this one go towards the inside. And this one go towards the inside. Excellent. Okay, so what we can do here is do some spacing for our wall. But first, let me trim this part. Trim that, enter. Excellent. Okay. So by now, we're done with offset creating the walls. It's not exactly the same as this, but you can just follow these dimensions. I'll post this drawing or this model, and you can follow the dimensions.